Up next, multi-talented instrumentalist Femi Leye got his first guitar as a teenager, taught himself to play the instrument, convinced his family that his music can be profitable, and today he confidently calls himself a complete musician. Watch this.
Fast-rising Afro-jazz singer and guitarist Femi Leye was born in Lagos, the entertainment hub of Africa, where he was greatly influenced by soundscape of the metropolitan city until he moved with his family to Ogun State at the age of 15. That move eventually marked a time in his life as a creative. It led to self-discovery.
It started when I was 14. I started disturbing my dad when I was 14. Of course, you have to be a good kid to ask your father for something like that. So eventually when I was 16, I got my first acoustic guitar. We actually went to Oshodi, together to get the acoustic guitar, and that was how I started. You know, I just started playing and started practicing, and that was all I wanted to do, just play, you know. And it was actually a great process learning, because I learned by myself, completely self-taught. So all I had at my disposal was just old records that I could listen to, and I remember hours after hours, you know, trying to replicate things that I hear on radio and you know, all around television and stuff, you know. So yeah, that was I actually just got into playing the guitar. Before then, I was already playing the piano and the drums. So you know, the knowledge I had of that was just very easy to get into playing the guitar. Yeah.
He went on to study food science and technology at the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, but his eyes were set on being a musician.
Well, at first, my dad was a little bit skeptical about the whole music thing, because the people that, you know, I was trying to, you know, I was playing music with at the time were not really successful. So as a father, I was very concerned, but I had to prove to him over and over again that this is actually what would make me happy. And when we got to that bus stop, so to speak, he started supporting me, and I would say my parents are my biggest fans right now. Like they, you know, from day one, they've always been there. You know, they listen to me trying to learn how to play the guitar, to being a professional, to playing at different concerts, and you know, touring around and playing, you know. So yeah, they right now they are my biggest supporters, biggest.
Now a contemporary Afro-jazz artist with an impressive profile, Femi Leye says his career got a head start when he started working with popular gospel acts.
After playing different bands and playing like different shows and whatnot, I started playing, you know, with a couple of gospel musicians like Buki, Kenny Kore, you know, Rooftop MCs, you know, back in the day and all that. And that was actually how I got into the industry, you know, gospel music. So playing in churches, you know, and you know, being a guitarist in different churches and all. Then from there, I was able to meet some musicians, you know, some secular musicians as they call them. They are musicians. So I started working with them, and I think it just stepped up from there. You know, it stepped up from there. I started meeting people, getting different connections, and people, oh, okay, he's actually a very dope guitarist. I think we should work with him. And you know, worked with a couple of record labels too, you know, playing live bands with them before I decided that it was time for me to actually step out and be my own artist, you know, not back up for anyone anymore. So that was actually where, you know, everything changed.
The multi-instrumentalist surprised the fans by revealing himself as a talented singer, something he carefully hid from the industry until he released his first full body of work as an artist.
Well, I've always been singing, you know, but then that part of my life was very dormant. So I felt it wasn't time for me to come out with that part of me. So it was about the guitar first and playing different instrumental pieces, you know, my own and all that. But, you know, I think it was time when I released my first album, my Cabo, it was time for me to actually come out with a couple of songs that I've written, you know. And that was when songs like Where Are You and Shisha came into play. And then people were really surprised because they know me as the guitar guy. but now the guitar guy that can sing. So I feel like it's an exponential progression into, my arts, and the whole sound of Femi Leye. So whether I'm playing an instrumental piece or I'm singing, it's still an embodiment of me. Do you understand? Ekabo is one word that means a lot. Definitely, I think the very literal meaning is welcome. Basically, welcome to my world as a musician, as a man, as a person. And it's a very personal album. It took me 6 years to write and produce. And finally, it dropped last year, 2015, September. And it's available on every online store. It was a great process for me because I wrote, produced the album by myself, and so imagine making all. I wasn't just the artist; I was also the producer. I was also this and that, playing different instruments and trying to just let out the emotions from within and put it on these records. And I'm really, really proud of this body of work, and I hope everyone goes out there and just try and get a copy. You won't regret it, I promise you. First big break, I would say, was the Lagos International, was first big concert actually, Lagos International Jazz Festival. And that actually just opened a lot of doors for me because a lot of people saw me perform like, this is new, a guy just playing the guitar and not singing. And I did like a 45-minute set and it wasn't boring. So people were like, okay, I think you should come on this program, I think you should come here, I think you should do this gig with us, and I think you should come for this session. And it just opened everything up, And then after that period, I released my album, so everything just came together. So I think that was actually what opened Femi Leye to the world.
Making the most of the opportunities that have come his way, he has added a number of A-list acts to his clientele, including Marvin Stars, Don Jazzy, Dija, Korede Bello, Inyanya, Burna Boy, Ice Prince, MI, and a host of others who appreciate his skills.
Amazing, phenomenal. Every day I get messages all around the world, and the music is different, it's fresh, is emotional. He has a lot of feelings, actually, whether it's instrumental or vocal. It speaks to people, and that was actually my goal in the first place, and it's fulfilling that goal. So I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Describing himself as a complete musician, Femi Leye believes he's at the forefront of an emerging phase in Nigeria's digital soundscape.